What's up, everybody? Welcome to Under the Arch Sports. I'm Eric Hobbs,
And I'm David Woldingen.
and today we're going to talk about Juan Soto and the feasibility of the Cardinals potentially trading for him. Before we get into that, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and find us on Facebook, Instagram, and now on Twitter. And guys, we're coming up on 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. That'd be a huge milestone to hit. So if you're not subscribed to Under the Arch Sports on YouTube, do it now. Right. So the Cardinals are coming into the trading deadline in contention. The team needs to improve, and one of the best pure hitters in baseball looks to be available. That's Juan Soto. David, the right fielder for the Washington Nationals, is one of the most talented hitters in the game.
Yeah, I mean, he has a proven track record and the possibility of 2 years of control, at least if the Cardinals decided to go this route. Very intriguing, even though he's having kind of a down year average wise, he still has an on base percentage of 400. And I mean, the guy's just a pure hitter. He has 2 Silver Slugger awards, and it's something the Cardinals could use for consistency in the offense. So it would be an interesting pickup if they grab him.
Yeah, I mean, Monday's home run derby champion after arriving after midnight to LA because the Nationals are, that relationship's gone down the toilet, it seems like. Yeah, Washington, that's what caused all this, is the relationship is deteriorating. Soto rejected a 15-year, $440 million offer, reportedly. I would expect that was leaked by his agent, Scott Boras, that figure, but, that's my guess only. And, there's rumors about the Nationals potentially selling the team, the owners, and everything is it's going south. The relationship is not going to work out. It seems inevitable that he's going to end up somewhere else, really, by the time we get to the August 2nd trading deadline.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting because it's all going to depend on how much the Nationals want for him. Based off the possibility of 2 years of control through arbitration and whatnot, they can ask a little bit more just because they know whoever's going to get him is going to have a couple more years of control over him.
Right. And that kind of leads us into the first segment that we're going to do about this is that we want to discuss why this would be a good idea for the Cardinals to pursue. A lot of this discussion was kind of spurred on by an article from CBS Sports where they ranked all the teams in Major League Baseball as far as feasibility and how good of a match they are if they were to try to trade, I should say, for Juan Soto. And they had tiers for teams where it's just, no, not happening, or this can't happen, this, that, and the other. And then they individually ranked the top 5. Number 1 was the Cardinals. And the article brought up good points. As you mentioned, David, he's making $17.1 million in 2022. For 2023 and in 24, he'll be up for arbitration. It's not until after the 2024 season that Soto will become an unrestricted free agent for the first time. So a trade for Soto gets you essentially 2.5 years of club control. So it's not, a 2-3 month rental. So that is a feather in the cap of trying to make the move. The other thing is that the Cardinals, if they're going to make a splash move, it is a trade. It's not a free agent signing. The Cardinals don't make monster free agent signings, at least not good ones, historically speaking.
Yeah, and you have a window with our superstars. I know Arenado has a possibility of picking up his opt out. Will he? It just depends on what the front office does, in all honesty. Goldschmidt is going to be up for free agency right around the same time, so you're going to have that contract dropping off the books too. So if you're looking for a solid bat, he's definitely one to keep an eye on. It's definitely an intriguing prospect. It's hard to say that the Cardinals would do this, knowing the front office and how much they hate to spend money, even though they're in the top 10 in the league. They just have a hard time throwing out major money to one player. They like to spread it out a little more. So, do I see him doing it? I don't know. I mean, it's a good question, actually. It just depends on their needs coming out of the All-Star break, honestly.
Yeah, one thing that you just mentioned, Paul Goldschmidt, his contract ends the same time that Soto becomes a free agent for the first time. So what that means, Goldie's contract, fairly sizable, that's off the books. And so Soto, there'd be money there to at least help. And that, again, that's something where the Cardinals would have a decision to make. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. I think the other thing to consider, if the Cardinals are going to make a trade, they have pieces that they could give up. Soto's a right fielder. You could give up any one of the Cardinals' normal 3 starting outfielders, Harrison Bader, Dylan Carlson, or Tyler O'Neill, at least hypothetically. In terms of how attractive they are, well, 2 of them are Gold Glove winners. That might be something that the Nationals are very attracted to. Soto, not a Gold Glove defender, so that could be something that they want to make a change with, depending on how they're trying to do a rebuild. That would come down to which of those 3 do the National scouts and a front office, who do they value the most? And then you also look with the Cardinals, they have prospects. There are guys in the Cardinals farm system that the Nationals, at least realistically, could be interested in, and the Cardinals might have the pieces necessary to make such a move happen. And that's something that few teams could actually say.
Yeah, with players like Jordan Walker, and then let's not forget some of the guys who are up on the club right now, such as Yepes. He's another trade piece, in my opinion. No matter what the Cardinals decide to do, I feel like he's right up there because he doesn't play many positions. His defense isn't great. However, his bat is something a lot of teams would covet.
Yeah, I think it's not nothing against him, but to me, it seems like he's at his peak in terms of value for a potential trade. I do want to move next to why this move might be a bad idea for the Cardinals to pursue. And, well, there's not a ton of reasons, but the reasons that exist are enormous. I think the first and foremost is the cost. He's getting paid $17.1 million this year, 2022. I imagine arbitration probably going to be about the same. His batting average being a little lower this season, that could help a club's cause in arbitration. We'll see. But I feel like that 15-year, $440 million figure got leaked for a reason, and that is to let clubs know that's our starting point. We might go down a little bit, but that's the starting point when it comes to Soto being a free agent down the road. And if that's the case, Cardinals will not re-sign him. Even if they were to make a move, they wouldn't re-sign him for anything close to that, I don't think.
Yeah, and I agree with that completely. Based off of the past history of our front office, they don't like being tied down with a monster contract like that. One in length of years, and 2 in the cost as well.
Well, I mean, if they're not going to do something like that for Albert Pujols, are they going to do it for Juan Soto?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so the Cardinals, I don't think, will come close to an offer resembling that. Now, how much lower would he go? I don't know. Scott Boras, his agent, his job is to make sure that number is not that much lower, especially now that this number is out there. If he rejected it, Scott Boras is going to play the angle of that's not enough. That's his job, is to play that angle. Even if the truth is that Soto wouldn't re-sign with the Nationals for $10 billion. Just if he hates the Nationals that much, it's irrelevant. Scott Boras' job is to make it seem like, well, for that much money, maybe, and get as much money out of the club as possible.
Don't forget, dealing with him is a headache for any organization. He is very good at wringing money out for his players.
Yes. We talked about Goldschmidt and his contract coming due. after the 2024 season, he'll be a free agent, same as Soto. That's an interesting choice for the Cardinals. You're talking about a very popular player within the organization. By that point, it will have been what? This is his fourth year. That'd be 6 years with the Cardinals. Am I right? 2019, I think, was his first year with the
I
Cardinals.
believe so.
Yeah. So you're talking about a guy who spent 6 years with the Cardinals by that point. Barring the unforeseen, he sure seems like a heavy favorite to win the MVP this season. So talk about a former MVP as a free agent. Would the Cardinals just let him go and say, sorry about it, you're old? Because he'll be at the end of 2024. That's right around the time he's going to turn 37. He's like a month older than me. Goldie is. So do the Cardinals just say, yep, you're getting old, we'll make you a smaller offer, but this guy Soto, we want him? And if they do, how would the fans feel about that?
True. And don't forget, Goldie was the one who wanted to come to St. Louis. He, like, first day of spring training, immediately signed an extension to his contract to stay here. So I could totally see him taking a pay cut to stay here. Plus, if you look at the Cardinals' mentality with their philosophy of how the team is formed, their focus is on defense. Juan Soto is not the greatest defender.
Yep.
One of the things that solidified our defense was Paul Goldschmidt at first base. We didn't have a very good first baseman. Without him, this team is infinitely worse on defense, in my opinion, because you don't have someone who can just make every infielder feel comfortable, because he can pretty much pick any throw thrown at him.
Yeah, as great as Arenado is, there's been a few of his circus plays where it's been ridiculous that he's gotten to a ball, but then he's thrown it and the throw's been off, and Goldie's bailed him out a few times. And then even, more routine plays for everybody else. But even Arenado is my point. Goldie bails him out sometimes.
Yeah, so in my opinion, his importance to the club, even if he's older, is still going to be infinitely greater than Soto out in the outfield. Plus, you're talking about trading one, maybe two Gold Glovers away to get him. And albeit our defensive outfield this year has been suspect because of injuries, I just don't see the Cardinals wanting to give that up.
Right. So that kind of leads into, final bit here. At the end of the day, if you're the Cardinals, do you make this move?
In my opinion, no. They have a much greater need for starting pitching. If they're going to make a move on anything, I think they're going to go after a starter or two. I know there's been also rumors tying them to Noah Syndergaard from the Angels. How true that is, I don't know. But I know they're kicking the tires out there on a couple of places, and the rumors are going out. So who knows?
Yeah, if I'm the Cardinals, I am taking a look. I'm having conversations with the Nationals, seeing what it would take for such a deal to come to fruition. If the Nationals are just suckers, if they're going to go full Rockies on this one and just make a deal where the Cardinals just completely blindside them, then sure, do it. But yeah, with the price you'd expect it to be, I don't think you do it for the exact reason you said. This team with two solid starting pitchers is going to win 95 games. As they are right now, they're going to win about 85 games. And that's the difference between, clawing and scraping for the last wild card and being a solid, firm division winner and being an actual contender in the playoffs, to, a threat to do something once you get there. So yeah, the Cardinals need to make a move for starting pitching. I would prioritize that well above Juan Soto. I don't think that's the move for the Cardinals to make, especially if the price is what you expect it to be.
Well, and the other thing to remember is if you're paying the price to get him for the 2 years, the Cardinals have traditionally only gone for those trades if they know they can re-sign the player. I don't know if you're going to be able to re-sign him because one, you don't know how he feels about St. Louis, number one. And number two, just the sheer amount of money he's going to be asking for. I just don't think the Cardinals will be willing to pay that out. Right. Especially when you have control over these young guys who they highly tout right now. They don't want to give those guys up. So I just don't see this trade as a possibility, but it is intriguing to think about.
Yeah. So I guess you just say under the Arch Sports ruling on this, interesting idea to kick tires on. Probably not the move to make to become a contender for the immediate future.
It will be interesting to keep an eye on the trade deadline, though, because I have a feeling the Cardinals will make some sort of move. When they do, we'll have that information. Other than that, thank you for watching Under the Arch Sports.